Good evening. I am Laura Howell, Chair of the Board of Trustees at Northwest State Community College. On behalf of my fellow trustees, I now declare this 49th annual commencement to be in session. Our thanks to Mr. Tony Hills for serving as our Grand Marshal this evening. Mr. Hills has served as a faculty member for 25 years in computer information technology. Thank you, Tony, for your dedicated service to Northwest State. I would now ask that all veterans and active members of our armed forces to also stand and be recognized. Thank you for your service. Will the audience please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. I would now like to call to the podium Dr. Michael Thompson, the 7th President of Northwest State Community College.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you today the members of our platform party, and we'll hold our applause and do them in spurts, if you don't mind. So first, let me recognize the Northwest State Community College Board of Trustees, the great bulk of which are really with us tonight, so I say thank you guys for coming. Chair Laura Howe, whom you just met, represents Defiance County. Representing Henry County is Vice Chair Joel Miller. And from Paulding County is Second Vice Chair Lisa McClure. Representing Henry County is Dr. Robert Hall. And also representing Defiance County is John Breidenball. From Paulding County, Sue Dirk. And on behalf of Williams County is Jeff Erb. Would you please give them a round of applause? Also on stage today, we have the wonderful men and women who help administer this college. I ask that you please stand and be recognized, and let's give them a round of applause. Stand. Next, I would like to recognize the heart and soul of this institution. That's you guys, the faculty. Our faculty provide transformative learning environments as well as care and support for our students every day, for that of which I am grateful, and I ask our audience to give them our applause. Also helping our students on their life journey and educational adventures are members of our college staff who work tirelessly to help our students succeed. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, thank you. I would like to thank and recognize Miss Alexis Woods and Mr. Clay Gehrig, who are serving as our junior marshals this evening. Thank you very much, yes. No one completes a college degree alone. For every graduate here today, there are supporting family and friends who help our students overcome incredible life barriers to reach their educational goals. So graduates, I offer you this opportunity to rise, maybe even take a peek at and applaud the family members with you here tonight who have helped you on your journey. Would you do that for me, please? Thank you. To our graduates, on behalf of a very grateful Northwest State Community College, I commend you. It's your dedication and your persistence that have led to this remarkable achievement. You have balanced incredibly difficult commitments to work, to family, and other obligations in order to complete your education. As we approach our 50th anniversary, which will culminate on May 9th, when Chancellor Randy Gardner is going to speak at our spring commencement, we remain resolute in our mission to provide an excellent, accessible, and affordable education that improves the lives of individuals and strengthens communities. Student by student, therefore family by family, and therefore community by community, we help Northwest Ohio maintain the high quality of life and remain a great place to live, to work, to worship, and to recreate. Each year, the Commencement Committee gives the challenge to choosing the recipient of the President's Outstanding Student Award. This year, the decision was especially difficult as the faculty nominated several strong candidates. This year's recipient is graduating today magna cum laude with an associate degree in science. She plans to transfer to the Ohio State University, as Penn State grad, that's hard to say, but I'm just saying, I'm happy for her. She plans to transfer to the Ohio State University to pursue a bachelor's degree in biology and zoology. She is an Award of Merit recipient and a member of Phi Theta Kappa, Kappa Beta Delta, and the Student Body Organization. While employed at Hawk's Pizza in Napoleon, she also volunteers at the Toledo Zoo and the Henry County Humane Society. She credits faculty member Lisa DiPello and the individualized attention that she received in her courses for fostering her academic interests and helping her along the way. Her mother and her sister both have attended Northwest State Community College. So please join me in congratulating the President's Outstanding Student, Cassidy Swanson. Cassidy, would you please come to the stage? I would ask that you welcome Dr. Dan Berklow, Associate Vice President for Academics, who will provide us with a snapshot of the December 2019 graduating class. Dr. Berklow, please.
I would first like to just extend my congratulations to all of the graduates out there, the class of 2019. To your family, friends, and colleagues, community have gathered to celebrate your achievements with you. So you might ask, who makes up the class of the December 2019? The class has 122 graduates. There are 2 graduates who completed their requirements through reverse transfer, taking their final courses at their 4-year institution and transferring the courses back to earn their associate degree. 82% of the graduating class lives in the 6-county area of Defiance, Fulton, Henry, Paulding, Van Wert, and Williams County, and the average age of our class is 28 years old. Several of the graduates are members of honor societies. There are 4 graduates who are members of Kappa Beta Delta, 16 graduates who are members of Phi Theta Kappa, and 12 are members of Alpha Delta Nu. And the average grade point average of the class is 3.25. Tonight, there's a total of 127 awards. That's 98 associate degrees, 29 certificates to the 122 graduates. Degrees and awards and certificates will be awarded to 18 graduates in the arts and science, 17 graduates in business and public service, 30 graduates in STEM and industrial, and 58 graduates in nursing and allied health. Now that you know the class of 2019, it is my honor to introduce our commencement speaker, Ms. Cecily Roars. Ms. Roars graduated from Bowling Green State University with a Bachelor of Science in Education and taught speech and English for Paulding, Stryker, and Archbold schools. She was also a feature writer for Farmland News of Archbold. Cecily later worked at Sauter Village for 27 years and retired as their Director of Public Relations and Marketing. In 1988, while at Sauter Village, Ms. Roars began teaching speech and reading part-time at Northwest State. She was known to help wherever needed, sharing her gifts of public relations, marketing, editing, and occasionally substituting for her mother, long-term faculty Louisa Strock. During her tenure at Northwest State, Cecily obtained a Master's of Arts in Theology Studies from Weinbrenner Theological Seminary in Findlay. She holds a passion for those living in poverty and is known for her workshop, Can the Cycle of Poverty Be Broken?, which she presented to educators at in-service events, medical centers, and community groups. Cecily is the founder and director of 4 homeless shelters in the area. Cecily's involvement with the Elder Hostel and Living and Lifelong Learning began in 2003. The Northwest State Center for Lifelong Learning offers non-credit educational programming and travel for those who are at least 55 years of age. Among Cecily's other roles, she has completed her 35th year as chair of Fulton County Christmas Cheer, who frequently conducts midweek services at St. Martin's Lutheran Church, and is a former board member of the Ohio Travel Association. Cecily received the Archbold Citizen of the Year Award in 1997, and she resides in Archbold with her husband, Jerry. Thank you, Cecily, for 31 years of service to Northwest State and our surrounding community. Please welcome Cecily Roars.
Can you really believe it? Graduates, you made it. And you people here who have come to share in this moment are also thinking, at last, we have a graduate. And it would be easy to think that this is the finish line. Easy to think the last project is completed, the last paper written. Easy to think you've read the last of those long, boring chapters. But I'm here to tell you that I am confident that the quality of the years ahead of you will be determined in large measure on your pursuit of lifelong learning. I want to give you that sentence again. I am confident that the quality of the years ahead of you will be determined in large measure by your pursuit of lifelong learning. 31 years ago, a program for lifelong learners was developed on this campus, and my mom, Louisa Strock, was chosen to make it happen. She was the force that brought the one-day seminars and the educational bus trips to this campus each semester. The audience is adults in the 5 and 6 county area who have celebrated their 55th birthday. My mom was still bursting with ideas for what programs we should develop when she took her last breath at age 98, just 4 hours after being presented a stole and named Coordinator Emeritus of the Center for Lifelong Learning. The idea of lifelong learning is to enhance every one of our days on planet Earth. As lifelong learners affiliated with this college, we have been to the stables of the famous and beautiful Budweiser draft horses. We have had a personal tour of the chapel at West Point and have heard organ music fill that hallowed space. We walked the island inhabited by the warm and engaging Gullah people just off the coast of Beaufort, South Carolina. We've enjoyed a stroll down Beale Street in Memphis and stood at the Lorraine Hotel where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. In Pennsylvania, we rode an elevator deep into the earth to tour an actual coal mine where generations of families had worked day after day, many without even being able to stand up straight for 8 and 10 hours a day in that dark dampness. The lifelong learners of this campus know that the Kroger stores electronically count every single person who enters the store and has a formula to tell them about how long shoppers will be in the store so that there are plenty of cashiers at the registers. Just this past October, we learned the cost of building every square foot of a highway. Miller Brothers Construction in Archbold sent reps to our lifelong learning event to explain how projects are bid and how roads are built. Okay, now this room is filled with smart people, right? How much does 1 square foot of highway that you drove on to get here tonight, how much does 1 square foot of highway cost? The low end is $475 per square foot. So the high end is just over $600. Now, turn the corner with me for just a bit. As you know, over coffee, people are forever discussing the illegal immigration issues. Grumble, grumble. Why don't they just go back to their home countries and do it right? Lifelong learners know the answer. We spent an entire day with 2 immigration legal representatives and a corporate immigration attorney. With their informative presentations, we learned why they don't just go back and do it right. It costs thousands and thousands of dollars. While they wait, they've got all their fees paid, all their paperwork done, and they wait because the quota from their country into the U.S. has been filled. Some are still waiting after 15 years to gain legal status into this country. Again, that's lifelong learning, getting the facts, considering the angles, not just filling the air with opinions, but learning facts from professionals in the field. That's what you graduates can do to guarantee a better tomorrow for all of us. Your diploma or your certificate proves you know a lot in your area. You made it. And that's a very good thing. But it's only one slice of the pie. If you commit to being a lifelong learner, you'll get even more and more slices. Are you ever shopping in a big grocery store, you've got a little time to kill, and you walk up to the frozen dessert counter, you see those cheesecakes and they're pre-cut with a different flavor in every slice? Yeah, nod your head, you at least know what we're talking about. You step up closer, and there are those big round circles with a clear domed plastic cover. Caramel and pecan, blueberry, strawberry, double chocolate. All one cheesecake, but each piece is different. Together, it's a mouth-watering masterpiece. That's an image I'd like you graduates to keep as your life continues to unfold before you. I want to urge you to collect one diverse slice of life after another to enhance the circle of your life's journey. The goal of lifelong learning is to create a cheesecake of sorts, a life of great diversity in many fields. Graduates, be willing to change your mind when new information is presented. Be willing to consider the what-ifs. I just heard a blurb on the radio that someone was laughed away in 1962 when he predicted Americans would soon have individual phones and carry them in their pockets. How about the guy who said, we should bottle water and sell it? People said, you're nuts. No one will buy water in a bottle. I urge you to commit to being a lifelong learner, to nurture and pursue a curious spirit for yourself and for those around you. Not long ago, our lifelong learners were in Indianapolis. We enjoyed a glorious art museum. We learned about the massive building made of Indiana limestone and toured the Dallara, Indy car factory. But the thing most of us are still talking about was the trip to the landfill. The landfill. It had been raining lots. There was mud everywhere, and our host at the landfill, with his degree in waste management, got on the bus and told the driver to drive his sleek, shiny, white bus up and around almost to the top. Our driver wasn't so sure, but up we went. That landfill is a model landfill for the country, because instead of just burning off the methane gas that builds inside the piles of rubbish, they have engineered a system to convert it to electricity and to sell it to the grid so it powers homes and businesses anywhere in the US and Canada. Garbage. Someone said, hey, there must be a better way. That somebody could be you. You've got the basics. Now you can start dreaming even more dreams. And I want to suggest you need to make an effort in all of your tomorrows to collect not only new ideas, but interesting people. I think you would all agree we tend to hang out with people who think and act like we do. Keep and treasure the old, but plan on building more and more diverse relationships. Picture a big, lovely bouquet of fresh flowers. There are tall ones, bold flowers, usually in the center, different colors, different shapes and sizes, all along the edges, some greenery, and stuck in some places are some baby's breath poked into that bouquet. It's a variety of color and texture that makes that bouquet stunning. I would like to think that we are all continuing to build a personal bouquet of interesting people. That's the one thing of lifelong learning I like the very most, gathering new and different people for my bouquet. On a personal note, in the last 10 years, I have added extensively to my bouquet. 8 years ago, I met a Chinese man, brand new to the area, who was in the Archbold Library. The following Christmas, my husband Jerry and I went home to Beijing with him for the holidays. One of our closest friends we put in our bouquet about 11 years ago. He came right off the streets of inner city Toledo and had been a frequent flyer at CCNO. He is a centerpiece of the power of change in our diverse bouquet. And to engage daily with people who struggle with addiction and who are probably and maybe homeless adds lots of variety to my life's bouquet. I urge you all to find room in your bouquet of life for those who aren't like others in your circle. My experience says they could enrich your life beyond belief. And of course, you need to be in pursuit of new information while collecting your bouquet of interesting people. Did you read the story of the Fairview graduate who grew up on a dairy farm just down the road here? And she is part of a select crew that will be a key component in the electronic engineering of the 2023 moon mission? Seems to me she's a great example of a lifelong learner, looking for new and better ways. Lifelong learning should be a goal of everyone. There are people well over 80 still soaking in new adventures through the Center for Lifelong Learning here at this college. I hope you will be one who advocates for a lifetime of lifelong learning instead of falling into a rut where minds are like concrete, all mixed up and hardened. My congratulations to you, graduates, and to those who love you for the sacrifices you've all made to get to this very moment. May this commencement be your first step in a journey of lifelong learning. My best to all of you.
Thank you, Cecily, for your inspiring remarks and for 31 years of dedicated service to Northwest State. I'm Lori Robison, Vice President for Academics, and I'm pleased to announce that the class address will be given by Ms. Keaton Ayers. Keaton, would you please come to the stage? Keaton is graduating magna cum laude with an Associate of Applied Business degree in Business Management and Entrepreneurship. She's an Award of Merit recipient and a member of Phi Theta Kappa, Kappa Beta Delta, and the Dean's Leadership Cluster. She also participated in the Entrepreneurship Forum, currently operates her own business, Keaton Drawer Art LLC, and hopes to open a studio for the public. She also works as a marketing and event coordinator for the YMCA. She and her husband are actively involved with Experience Church in Defiance. Please join me in welcoming Keaton Ayers.
Hello, my name is Keaton Ayers. As I look before me, I see many promising faces, some of whom I have had the chance to get to know during my time of study at NSCC. I can say honestly that I am grateful to have been surrounded by so much dedication, hard work, and drive. I am honored to be standing before you today as your commencement speaker. I grew up in poverty. My father was not present for most of my childhood. My mother was a single mother of 5 who worked vigorously to provide for us all of our needs and to instill in us important values like faith, love, and hard work. To this day, I do not know how she did what she did to hold us together despite challenging circumstances. Raising 5 children on minimum wage is a nearly impossible task. It seemed like there was never enough money to cover food, clothing, rent, and utilities, so we often had to choose which was most important. We were constantly under the threat of eviction or having our heat or electricity turned off. We moved so often throughout my childhood that sometimes we did not even fully unpack from the last move before the next. Sometimes landlords were so angry at us for not keeping up with rent that we would be kicked out before we could ever gather our belongings. We left behind keepsakes like irreplaceable photographs and family heirlooms and other material things that we could barely afford to buy in the first place, like toys, clothes, and beds. I had a good imagination as a child. I could imagine myself playing with my favorite toys, and I could imagine myself sleeping on a comfortable bed. However, the kids at school were not as always imaginative as I was, and I would be picked on often for wearing the same outfit every day. One particularly hard winter, we had just recently moved to a house that seemed like you could blow on it and it would topple over. I like to imagine that Batman had lived there because there were bats that would come down and frequently visit us. We weren't able to pay the heat bill this particular winter, but I still felt pressured to at least look clean so I didn't get picked on by the kids at school. I put my head under the freezing cold faucet and held it there as long as I could stand to attempt at getting it completely washed, but it was so cold that I usually couldn't even get the shampoo fully rinsed. So despite my efforts, I looked dirty anyways. I quickly wrapped myself up in as many towels as I could find and ran to my bed, which was a pile of blankets on the floor because we had lost our beds in the previous move. I remember looking up at the ceiling, being able to physically see my breath, and feeling so sorry for myself, thinking, life has to get better. But life did not get better. My mom married this man that we all hoped would somehow be our savior. He owned his own home, he had served our country, and he was respected by many people in the community. But we quickly found out that he was far from anything that we had hoped. He instead drove our family into the darkest chapter of my life. The evil that he inflicted upon my family was unimaginable. But the worst thing about living under this man's roof wasn't the extreme terror or constant abuse heaped on all of us. It was the big, terrible, disgusting thought that I developed that my life would never be anything more than worthless. By the time I was in middle school, this thought caused me to start isolating myself from everything and everyone that made a positive impact on my life. So I started hanging out with a bad group of kids, the kids that parents did not want their children hanging out with. More than that, I was one of the bad kids. I was constantly getting in trouble at school and even with the police. I imagined my poor mother worrying sick about me only to have me brought home safe, but in a cop car. I continued on this dark path until college, my first attempt at college, where I felt I hit rock bottom. Because I decided that my life had no meaning, I started to question if it would be better to just give up altogether. It is ironic how sometimes the most beautiful sunrise emerges from the darkest of nights. I hit the bottom with such impact that I met God there. I really wrestled with him, but thankfully, he won, and he showed me how I was destroying my life with merely a single bad thought. I needed a paradigm shift. I had to decide that my life did have meaning. Once I discovered that my significance was only limited by me, my circumstances, and the people who surrounded me were only able to dictate my success so long as I let them. It is amazing to see how far I have come in the past 6 years since I've had this encounter. I never thought that I deserved to be married, but I am happily married to a kind man who treats me like a queen. I never thought that I would own my own home, but I have now owned 2 homes. I never thought that I would be able to own a business, but I'm currently getting ready to launch a second business. I never thought that I would graduate college, but here I stand before you with an associate's, a double associate's, and with honors. There have been so many amazing people along the way that have encouraged me, uplifted me, and helped me along my path. I would like to personally thank my mother, my grandmother, my husband, and many others who saw the light in me when no one else could. I would also like to thank Lisa Beecher for going above and beyond, for mentoring me, and for pushing me to be all that I can be. I would also like to thank Northwest State for providing me with such an incredible learning opportunity. The growth that I have seen in myself during my time here and the connections that I have made will span a lifetime. It's the greatest paradox how a single poisonous thought can drive a person so deep into a cycle of poverty and despair. Conversely, one opposite thought can steer a person along the waters of rich success. It takes a lot of humility and courage to constantly confront your thought life, to have the strength to admit that you were wrong and that there might be a better way of thinking. But it is imperative that we develop this humility and courage at all costs. Our minds and the beliefs we carry are the steering wheels to our lives. The thoughts that pass through our minds are responsible for everything that happens in our lives. Our predominant thoughts influence our behaviors and attitudes and control our actions and reactions. The level of success that we are able to achieve tomorrow will be dependent on the thoughts that we develop today. I would like to challenge you to be the class of higher thinking. You all have proven to be capable of obtaining and retaining knowledge. Soon, you will each receive a diploma that will prove that. Some of you will go on to get your bachelor's degree, and some your master's. Whether or not you decide to go on to acquire an advanced academic certificate, I hope that all of you possess the humility to continue learning. Learn to treat people and yourself kindly. Learn to overcome your fears. Learn to choose the high path. Learn to master whatever it is that you do. And once you have mastered it, become new to it all over again. I would like to leave you with this quote by Anthony J. D'Angelo. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Thank you.
want to thank Keaton for inspiring remarks as well and sharing her journey with us today. So to commemorate your address, please accept this on our behalf. Thank you, Keaton. Congratulations. As Vice President for Academics, it is now my honor to present the candidates for graduation. Candidates, will you please rise? I would also like our faculty to please rise, turn, and face your students. President Thompson, upon recommendation of the faculty and in concurrence with the academic deans, I am pleased to present to you the students who have fulfilled the requirements for their certificates and degrees. This includes the Associate of Arts, the Associate of Science, Associate of Applied Business, Associate of Applied Science, and the Associate of Technical Studies.
Vice President Robison, I commend you and your faculty for the outstanding job that you have done in preparing our students for this very moment, and I wholeheartedly agree with your recommendation. Graduates, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I award to you the Northwest State Community College degree and/or certificate, together with all the rights, privileges, honors, and responsibilities therein.
Would the first group of graduates please proceed to the stage? Remaining graduates, faculty, you may be seated. Today, Mr. Terry King will be serving as our orator.
Works better when it's on. In case you couldn't hear, the first one was Keaton Ayers, and second we had Rosa Gomez. Sorry about that. Courtney Brooke Roth. Tyler James Peckinpah. Abigail Renelle Hull, magna cum laude, Kappa Beta Delta, and Phi Theta Kappa. Carrie C. Mallett. Megan Annette Baird. Ashlyn Mary Drywicki. Austin Michael Batt, magna cum laude. Angela Marie Byard. Our next group of graduates are from the Science, Technology, Engineering, Math, and Industrial Technologies Division. Kyle Robert Nicely, summa cum laude. Scott Michael Zimmer. Samuel Paul White. Caitlin Rose Barber, cum laude. Hannah Faith Zurich. Whitney D. Kretz. Justin Louise Quinlan, summa cum laude. Kyle Forrest Yoder, magna cum laude. And now we have the Nursing and Allied Health Division. Susan Alexis Schwab. Brandy Corteza Claudio. Sydney Lee Berry. Brianna Michelle Thompson. Kayla Ann Leeser. Rebecca Elizabeth Baker. Heidi Sue Axon. Alicia Marie Luke, Alpha Delta Nu. Megan Renee Ziegler. Melissa Rose Bowling, Alpha Delta Nu. Haley Ray Pierce, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa, Alpha Delta Nu. Erica Christine Castillo. Brittany Ann Ludeman, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa, Alpha Delta Nu. Brian Thomas Porter. Natalie Ann Schmitz. Lisa Naomi Schwartz. Shaylee Rose Manahan, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa, Alpha Delta Nu. Morgan Nicole Rice, cum laude, Alpha Delta Nu. Catalina Alexis Kelly, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa, Alpha Delta Nu. Kimberly Sue Klingeman, Alpha Delta Nu. Jalen Courtney Duskgrange. Kelsey Rhiannon McNeil, Alpha Delta Nu. Hannah Kaylee Meter, Alpha Delta Nu. Alexander L. Montague. Rachel Marie Oxender. Haley Lynn Bingham. Kimberly Ann Holmes, Phi Theta Kappa, Alpha Delta Nu. Ashley Marie Patton, Alpha Delta Nu. Malin Marie Groden, cum laude, Alpha Delta Nu. Amy Jolyn Gherkin. Alyssa Jane Shinneberry. Jacqueline Ann Weaver. Carissa Blythe Dillard, summa cum laude. Alyssa Marie Armstrong. Amber Nicole Gerlach. Samantha K. Courier. Brittany Michelle Reitz. Adriana Marie Perez. Nicole Marie Roberts. The next graduates are from the Arts and Sciences Division. Stuart Eugene Mahan, cum laude. Jelaine Rainier Miller. Audrey Durham. Rochelle Ann Wise, summa cum laude. Andrew Lynn Richardson. Carrington Jeriah Pierce, cum laude. Matthew Peter Cousineau. Cassidy Aaron Swanson, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Sarah Ray Keith.
Congratulations, graduates. Let's give our graduates one more round of applause. We have one more step in the process. It's the turning of the tassel. So graduates, if you would please stand. And as one, please move your tassel from the right side to the left. You may be seated. Each year, several graduates are selected by the division faculty and deans to receive the Award of Merit in recognition of outstanding academic achievement in their programs of study. These students were honored at a ceremony last week and are noted in the commencement program. However, we'd like to acknowledge them this evening. Would the following students please stand to be recognized when I call your name? Maxi Radanasri, Associate of Arts and Associate of Science. Rochelle Wise, Associate of Arts. Caleb Davila, Associate of Science. Cassidy Swanson, Associate of Science. Seth Brakefield, Visual Communications, Graphic Design. Keaton Ayers, Business Management. Jacqueline Sager, Office Administration. Melissa Bowling, LPN to RN. Kimberly Klingeman, Registered Nursing. Kyle Nicely, Electromechanical Engineering Technology. And Scott Zimmer, Plastics Manufacturing Technology. Congratulations. You may be seated. Will Executive Vice President Todd Hernandez please come to the podium to recognize individuals chosen for emeritus status?
Good evening. At a dinner earlier this evening, the Board of Trustees honored 3 distinguished individuals that were recently awarded emeritus status. Emeritus status is an honorary title awarded for distinguished service to the academic community. The Board of Trustees bestows the title on a faculty member, administrator, staff, or trustee who has permanently retired from Northwest State Community College and who served the college, community, and profession with distinction. Our first recipient is Dr. Edward Singer. Dr. Singer began his career at Northwest State Community College in 1986 as a faculty member in the Arts and Sciences Division. During his time at the college, he served as a lead sociology faculty, and his instruction was a crucial part of the teaching both the general student population as part of the core curriculum and arts and sciences students specifically to perceive important problems as having societal causes and to better understand diversity and sustainability. Edward played a crucial role in adding sustainability to the Northwest State institutional learning outcomes, acted in an advisory role to the Student for Sustainability student group, and as a founding member of the Environmental Action Committee and Education for Sustainability faculty and staff groups. He also coordinated student efforts to bring recycling to campus. In 2008, Ed was involved in the planning of a local food event called Everybody Eats. This event eventually led to the creation of a group dedicated to the promotion of local food event called ELF, or Eating Local Foods. That took root beyond our campus and served the larger Northwest Ohio community. That same year, he was a recipient of the Northwest State Distinguished Faculty Award, which recognizes individuals who exemplify excellence in teaching. Edward served the college community with distinction for over 3 decades, and it is an honor to present Dr. Edward Singer the Emeritus Award. Our next recipient is Dr. Von Plessner. Von Plessner began his career at Northwest State Community College in 1984 as a faculty member in the business division. He taught a variety of business courses on campus and training topics to employers on site at companies including Campbell's Soup and North Star Blue Scope. Von served as a Dean of Business from January 2007 to June of 2013. During this time, he led the division through the first specialized business accreditation by the Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs, or ACBSP. He would later serve on the Board of Commissioners and the Accreditation Governance Board of the ACBSP. Von instituted the first local chapter of Kappa Beta Delta, the Honor Society for 2-year college business students, and served as the chapter advisor for many years. Von was the recipient of the Master Teacher Award in 1989, Outstanding Adjunct Faculty Member in 2003, and the Distinguished Alumni Award in 2008 from Northwest State Community College. He also received the Regional Teaching Excellence Award from the ACBSP in 1998. He served 2 terms as president of the Ohio Administrators of Business Programs, the 2-year college dean's organization in Ohio. Von continues to teach at Northwest State on a part-time basis after his retirement. Von has served the college community with distinction for over 3 decades, and it is an honor to present Dr. Von Plessner the Emeritus Award. Our third Emeritus Award is being given posthumously to Mr. Philip McCartney. Mr. McCartney served for 14 years on the Northwest State Board of Trustees from 1997 to 2012. During that time, he served in many capacities, including 2 terms as board chair in 2002 and 2008. He also led the board in a presidential search in 2002 to 2003. Philip's nominator said this about him: Philip had a vision of what the college should excel to become, and with his guidance, the college moved to the next level of meeting the needs of our students, our business partners, and our communities. During Philip's tenure on the board, he received recognition from the Ohio Association of Community Colleges and was awarded Trustee of the Year for his dedication to promoting community colleges in the state of Ohio. On March 30th, 2012, an honorary doctorate of technical letters was conferred upon Mr. McCartney posthumously by the Northwest State Board of Trustees for his leadership in his community, place of employment, and church, and his dedication to community service and education. It is an honor to present the Emeritus Award posthumously to Philip McCartney. We thank each of you for helping us celebrate our graduates this evening. Immediately following the ceremony, you are invited to the reception hosted in the atrium. There is a decorated cake for those interested in photos. We ask that guests remain seated until the graduates, faculty, and stage party recess.
As chair of the Board of Trustees of Northwest State Community College, I now declare this 49th annual commencement at an end.